Welcome back, everybody, as we get straight into the draft for Game 2 here. WCU Rams looking to ban about the same things. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Obviously, lots of those big... for right now, as we know, Barber's Fanclub, their big respite is the jungler. And already seeing the immediate sack ban here as called. So already, WCU Rams probably don't have to change anything. They don't got too much to fear right now. They are blue side, so they will have the Jinx first pick here. So curious to see if Barber's Fanclub want to ban that out. So looks like they're going to keep the Senna ban. Looks like mostly everything going to be the same, but Cassiopeia is oh no, never mind. It's just a little bit out of order. So yeah, WCU Rams just keeping the same exact bans, and
Yep.
Karma going to be banned out. So the only thing that's going to be swapped out here is the Zillion.
That's
So,
right. And the Zillion ban, both you and I kind of thought the Zillion ban seemed a little out of place. I mean, maybe it's not. The Rams obviously have the option to pick it if they want, but I don't think it's bad. I think the adaptation that Barber's Fanclub did here for the second game, going in the first ban Zach, just respecting it, and I think that's the right thing to do. Dissipate played really, really well on that. And the Rams actually elect to first pick a Lulu, which is interesting. Very interesting.
It did really, really good. Kingfisher, or no, not Kingfisher, Asian Damon with the, with the roams and just doing so well in that bot lane there, just knowing your spacing so you don't get hooked there. And so Yuumi being hovered here for, they're not an LCS order, so it kind of confuses me a little bit. It's, no.
It should be Bane.
It's Bane.
It should be Bane.
Bane is going to pilot. Oh, I really like the Seraphine pick. Yeah. I was like, as a support main, I was like a preacher for support Seraphine because Seraphine is, in my opinion, the best team fighting support enchanter in the game.
She's really good.
Like,
she's
yeah,
really,
like
really
your ult, your E, you have a lot of AOE. You have big shields, especially when you do the double cast, and then your E just stacks a lot of CC. Your ultimate, big CC that gets a massive charm, gets extended, get a lot of range. Mordekaiser blind picked into the top side here. So lots of interesting stuff from Barber's Fanclub already just in the first phase of the draft.
Yeah, and that Seraphine pick might not even be support either. You can flex that a lot of ways. You can send that mid, you can send that to your ADC, and of course you can always put it to the support like you mentioned there as well. But we do have the Volibear. Chances are that's not going to be flex, but that can be taken top. I'm not sure how it would do against the Mordekaiser, but for now I'm going to assume that's a Volibear jungle. As we'll wait to see what the Rams decide to grab for B3. My guess is one of the ADCs. They have the option between Aphelios or Jinx, and I wouldn't be surprised if they grab either of those. And if they want maybe a more safe option, they can always do the Xayah too, which the Xayah is rising a lot in priority. But nope, instead they elect for the Aphelios. Like you mentioned earlier, if it's not broke, why fix it? Everything's looking good for the Rams. I think they're pretty happy. All they've really done now is swap the Zac pick, which ended up being banned by Barber's Fanclub, and electing to grab that Volibear instead. So we'll see what Barber's Fanclub decides to answer with on the R3. Now they do have the option to grab the counter pick, ban out. Maybe they can grab their mid lane, which it looks like they're going to be doing. Yep. And now they can ban Yone. They can ban Yone counters, which off the top of my head, I'm not too sure.
It would be Vex is a counter, and not Vigar. It's Vex and Galio doesn't do too bad.
Vex makes
but I'm
sense.
pretty sure Barber's Fanclub are pretty much going to do like the same bans, just going to do the Vigar and the Vex because that's kind of like the bread and butter for Don't Run It. They play like a lot of these big, strong caster scaling picks.
Yeah.
So expect to see Vex ban here. Yone is a very interesting pick. Ooh, banning the Renata here. So they're going to call the bluff, and they think the Seraphine's possibly... No, actually, yeah, they're knowing the Seraphine's going bot, but they're probably thinking it's going to go into the hands of nukes. Volibear, I've actually seen recently that it's... Oh, so it's not a Renata ban, it's a Rengar ban.
There we go.
Okay, so... It's going to be a Rengar ban, so they're going to start banning out the jungle here. Obviously, ADHD Dolly did really, really well there, but unfortunately, just the scaling and the team fight power for WCU was a little bit too much there. Volibear, I've seen recently doing really good because, like, you get...
Volibear is a new Xin Zhao. Like, Volibear has a ton of agency early game. There isn't a lot of junglers that can really duel with him. So I'm not too surprised that they do end up going to Volibear. I think it's a really good pick for the Rams, especially if you want that early game agency. They can look to draft maybe a mid lane that can play around that as well. But the R4 right there from Barber's Fanclub, it's just going to be Nautilus. And
so they're changing the Renata ban, and they're going to keep the Renata ban. It's not a Rengar, so Huh.
Okay.
Okay then. Very interesting.
very,
That's
very
technically
interesting.
illegal, but oh, uh, then okay then. It's still Rengar. So, that's a little illegal, but I'll stick with it. So Nado's going to be picked up here into that support role. Ari going to be picked up again here. I guess Barber's Fan Club, you don't have a lot of options. So Ari is going to be the one that's going to be kept up. So Aatrox might be picked here. Aatrox does
Maybe.
pretty well into the Mordekaiser, actually. I think if I remember, yeah, Aatrox does really good into Mordekaiser, but technically Mordekaiser is a counter to Aatrox. But ooh, Kled, I like Kled. Kled isn't too bad. He's kind of like one of those sleeper picks. You got a lot of flexibility with the build, and Kled going to be picked up here for Kingfisher in that top side.
And now we're saving our R5 pick here. That Mordekaiser, more than likely, I'm thinking 80-90% is top lane, but maybe there's an off chance that it's jungle. I don't think so, though. I think Delightful, if I had to take a guess, the back's against the wall. I really liked the Shyvana that he ended up playing there in the last series for Spectre Gaming. So maybe they look for that again, but I expect a scaling jungle. So got a couple seconds left before they can lock, and we're going to get the Camille. So it looks like it is.
Oh,
The Shen? Okay.
so
There we go. So Mordekaiser
it's
jungle.
River Shen.
Yeah.
It's River Shen. I
It's gotta
love
be.
this. I love this. River Shen is really, really good. It's a lot better than Mordekaiser Jungle, at least. So, obviously, once again, Barber's Fan Club. They have almost no agency early game, but they can have the ability to punish that bot lane. I want to see more um, map presence for Barber's Fan Club because all their lanes are pretty good. Yon gonna struggle slightly, but you take a Resolve, you take a Relic Shield, or you take a Doran Shield, and then you should be able to sustain fine. And with the what is it, lethal tempo and all that, so you should be fine with the sustain game. But Barba's Fan Club, they have way more agency now. I expect to see lots of priority in that bot side.
Yes.
You
And
have
that's
a
exactly what I
Nautilus, a
expect.
Seraphine, a Yone, and a Shen.
Yeah.
That is the definition of dogging.
And Nautilus is one of the best engaged supports in the game, if not the best right now. There's kind of like a trio when it comes to like high elo, what the LCK, LPL are picking, and usually it's Nautilus, Leona, and maybe the odd set here and there. So I like the Nautilus pick. It's
like
really,
the-
really good into Lulu too. Now the Lulu again will obviously outscale the Nautilus, but when it comes to like engage, raw power like that, the Nautilus is hands down by far one of the best. Super reliable engage. And even in lane, basically the way that Nautilus works is if your jungler is around and you can land a hook, it's almost a kill. And then in team fights, if you're ever in the range of any AD carry, especially the Aphelios in this case, who's immobile, and you press R, things are looking pretty gloom and doom for him too. So I like that pick. The Shen, I do like the Shen here. I just hope that they're able to execute it. The first Stand United from the last game did not work. Maybe, just maybe they'll be able to get this first Stand United to be something more, impactful. Maybe look to make that play bot side like you and I were both talking about. So Barb's Fan Club, like you mentioned, a lot of agency early. We'll see how they use it because I'm going to go on a limb and say, with the exception of maybe the jungle, which is Volibear, I think the Rams probably end up outscaling Barber's Fan Club once again.
Yeah, man. Like right now, we got the trifecta of supports. You got the Nautilus, you got the Leona, and you got the Lulu.
And
So we already got two of the three of the trifecta. So we got like the base of our triangle here. It's going to be okay. So it's going to be Jungle Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that very much. From what I've heard, the clear isn't too bad. They're having a couple buffs for Mordekaiser Jungle, but this is going to be very interesting. Obviously, you're going to, as you said, Volibear is the Xin Zhao of the jungle now. Volibear has an insane amount of agency. You can outduel anything, and you clear pretty fast. When you go, so this game you have options. You can go the tank, or you can go the bruiser build. Probably go the bruiser build, but the tank build is usually like more popular because you get your ability haste and you get your tankiness and all that. So either one works fine here.
It might come down to if he gets fed or not too. If he's not too fed, he'll probably just end up going more the tank build, right?
Yeah,
So,
like it just depends. Like if you get your face smashed in when you get like the first team fight going on.
basically.
So it really depends here. But like right now, both sides they have a lot of options. Barber's Fan Club they lack a little bit of kind of like sustainable range damage. So you don't have an AD carry, so you don't see that very often. But you have a lot of range with the Seraphine. You have a lot of AoE team fight potential for Barber's Fan Club.
That's
So I
right. The
kind of want to see
siege.
them.
Yeah,
I want to see them leverage that a little more.
yeah.
And
Barber's
WC
Fan
Rams,
Club.
they got Snowball out the
Mm-hmm.
wazoo.
Yeah, Barber's Fan Club right here could be focusing a lot. Their siege isn't that strong. They don't like what you mentioned. They don't have a dedicated AD carry. But what they do have is they have pretty much any window that they want, they can almost force any fight. So if they're ever contesting around neutral objectives, Seraphinar, Nautilus Hook, there's lots and lots of windows where they can find these fights. So that's where I expect a lot of Barber's Fan Club's composition to take on. And then hopefully what ends up happening if they're contesting around those neutrals is they win the fight and then they're then able to go and push lanes, maybe take a couple turrets, couple turret plates in the process. So yeah, the composition from Barber's Fan Club is really going to rely around neutral objectives if they're able to get the setup and then find the picks. And the Rams are going to be playing around what I expect to be a pretty strong mid jungle duo. The Volibear and the Ari have a lot of chainable CC between the Charm and obviously the stun that Volibear has. So plenty of windows that the Rams have, plenty of windows that Barber's Fan Club has. It's just going to come down to, again, as League of Legends almost always does, it's just execution. So definitely an exciting series, I think. Got another great game ahead of us.
Yeah, again, both teams it was pretty much even all the way through. Like it wasn't until about 15-ish, 20-ish minutes that then it started swaying more into the Rams' favor. So both these comps a little bit untraditional from Barba's Fan Club, but it's definitely interesting because Nukes is going into that mid lane now. Nukes and Pixel Wolf are going to be
Yep.
swapping. Um, and you don't see Mordekaiser jungle often. It's a little weird. So I'm curious to see what's going to kind of happen between these two teams here. Because very hard to predict what's going to happen because it was just dead even. Uh, I'd like to see a little bit again. I'd like to see more map presence from Barba's Fan Club, and then take advantage of all that cool CC there. But
I think they've done what they need to do here. I think they're going to play heavy around bot side, try to get advantages through that, and I think Bane, if he's able to, he's going to look for a lot of roam timings and try to set stuff up towards mid. Because this time again, the Seraphine ends up going towards that AD carry role, and what that really means is that they don't have a conventional ADC. Instead, they're going to be using that Seraphine as more of a bridge to get nukes towards the late game once you can get a couple items, and then that Yone is going to start to absolutely shred. And I've seen Yone's 1v4, 1v5, and it's completely possible that he does it here again with all the enable, like, maybe for lack of a better word, with all the opportunities that he has between the Shenar, all the opportunities that he has between the Seraphine, there's a lot of windows where that Yone can take over this game. So keep an eye out on that too.
yeah, as we wait for the spectator delay to go down once again here, we're gonna wait to we're gonna be getting ready for this game two lobby, and we're gonna see if WCU Rams are gonna get the clean sweep or if Barba's Fan Club can bring it back from the brink and get us to a game three.
Yeah, just around the corner. Look forward to it. Beyond exciting at this point. Again, it just comes down to the execution. So can't wait to see that. Note of too this time is we do have the Kled as well. So like the Kled is going to be the go button on the side of the Rams. And you don't see a lot of Kleds. Even in solo queue, you don't see a lot of Kleds. So let alone to get one in competitive, I think it's going to be exciting. You mentioned a lot of variability in the builds that they do have. So that Kled, I think, has a lot of opportunities to be able to take over the game, force a lot of fights. If he gets an opportunity to reset, maybe to play towards the Dragon bot side or something like that, if he can back and look to set up a gank towards his bot side, that could be another option. So yeah, lots and lots of windows that the Rams have.
Yeah, looking at the summoner spells and all that, Volibear just going with the PTA, just going the kind of average thing there. Mordekaiser going with the Ghost, so very interesting. And Ari going for Electrocute this time around. So surprising you go for that. Probably could have went for the I forgot what else that Ari's would go for. You could go for the what is it? The
I mean,
Dark Harvest?
you could go Dark Harvest. Like Electrocute is pretty reliable though. Like Electrocute, you can proc with your W, so it seems pretty stock standard to go with the Electrocute. Maybe another option that you might see would be something like a Comet, but I doubt it. Maybe an Ari, like an Aerie, excuse me. But yeah, I think the Electrocute is a pretty safe bet here for Don't Run It. And he had a great first game on that Ari, and I'm excited to see him play it yet again. So feels pretty comfortable. We'll see how he plays against a Yone this time. A Yone, if you get behind, things can happen, and you might not be able to get back into the game. So that's a close matchup to pay attention to. Pretty much every lane that you see right now is going to be is going to be a good important matchup. I mean, the Shen again, Patrick Jones. We'll see how he's able to impact with his first stand united.
But yeah, like it's gonna be very. Yeah, Kled just going for Conqueror. Oh, this time Ahata. No, wait, that's the same thing. Still kept the cleanse there. So this time cleanse is going to be super impactful. Ahata definitely going to have to be a little bit more cognizant of how you go for your positioning, because obviously, like, you're going to have the Nautilus and all of that big CC and dive just kind of dogging you down. But with the Ari, the thing is because like you're going against 3 tanks. Unless you're getting like a pick onto Nukes or Pixel Wolf, it's going to be very hard for Ari to do damage. But again, Ari has a lot of variability in the build. You know, expect to probably go Leandries this game, and then once again going into the either a Void Staff or a Shadow Flame.
Yeah, Shadow Flame could be an option. Maybe even you might see at the odd time where there's Medjais. Like that might be a window where you see. Like I know Caps ran that a lot. He ended up going Medjais pretty much every game, and he ended up getting full stacks on it. So I don't know. There definitely is a lot of windows that you can have. Like definitely a lot of builds that you can run out with that Ari. You might even see a more supportive build. You might see something like the CDR boots. You might see something like the Everfrost. That's been pretty stock standard when it comes to Aris, but she is pretty much the only AP damage. So if she goes that more supportive build and she's the only AP, you know, it could be a bit of a downfall for the Rams. Lots of things to take note of.
Yeah, I expect probably Kled going like second. So thing about Kled is like you can go like whatever you want. So you can go like tank build. You get a Sunfire, and you just deal a ton of AP damage because the Sunfire does a lot of damage once you get those immolate stacks up. So you might see the Sunfire build come out, so it kind of supplement a lot of that AP damage also. Or you can just go for the the standard the Gore Drinker, and then you grab your Cleaver second item with the Titanic Hydra.
Even the option for Death Dance too. Death Dance might be another option too for Kingfisher. He ended up going the Death Dance there second on the Aatrox, and once he completed that item, it just felt like he wasn't going to die. Pretty much at any point, any fight. I think he ended up going. He might have actually finished the game with 5 deaths, but I think
he was like he was 12-5.
Was 12 and 5, like 12, yeah. So he's face tanking the whole time. He's running in, and yeah, towards the end of the game, once he gets 1 kill, he gets that reset, and things get really scary. Now, obviously, he's not on the same champion. He's on a Kled, so bit of a different window there. But the Death Dance still another viable option for him. So keep an eye out on that. Dissipate not on the Zac this time, and I think it's really going to be important for him to get that early game agency that the Volibear pick has and really impact that. And I expect a couple ganks early mid. That's really what I expect, but there might be a couple options for them to head towards top. I think their bot side, if anything, like Dissipate's going to play to help relieve pressure. Maybe they need to get a wave pushed in or something. Ahata doesn't feel comfortable walking up to get it in, and Dissipate might be around there to help get it in. But other than that, like, I expect the majority of the attention being put onto Kingfisher and don't run it for them.
Yeah, Pixel Wolf running Airy, so let's see, and going Airy and secondary is Inspiration, so possibly going for the support build with the Moonstone. Kind of doubt it because you are actually you have a Mordekaiser also, so you have AP, so you could go for the support build with the Moonstone. Just kind of keep your
expect to see that
frontline super beefy. Yeah, because that's still pretty popular. You proc it pretty frequently because you have a lot of long range and short cooldowns. So probably expect to see that, and you get a lot of buffs to buff up your front line. Just get them a little beefier than usual.
Yeah, you don't need as much gold to spike either with that build, and I think that's kind of the job with the Seraphine. Again, the Seraphine is like she just wants to be able to get into more towards the mid-late game when they can start team fighting and they can start layering CC. Like Nautilus are into Seraphine are, things get really scary, really scary for Ahata, especially when those 2 ultimates are up. So I think that's what you're going to see. Pixel Wolf just wants to basically, my guess, just going to end up going for one of the support items. Shirelius you almost never see, so I'm expecting to see. Yeah.
This pause is really long, man.
Well, we've got 9K ping there, so we're gonna have to wait for the ping to go down.
It is a 6-minute pause, man.
I mean, you're rolling the punches.
But yeah, like, okay, so Nuke's going for that lethal tempo, so looking for like So the thing about lethal tempo is like you just get so much sustained damage. Like you can go like a what is it? You went for okay, so it went for alacrity instead of tenacity, and yeah, I went for the resolve secondary. So looking for that sustain lane here, obviously. Gonna try to see. Yone does do a little bit better in the push department once you get like their first couple like 8 attack speed items and your first crit items.
Mhm.
You can go for either the Merc Treads or the uh, Berserker's Greaves. Obviously, Berserker's Greaves just gives you so much because you know get the attack speed, you get that cooldown reduction for your Qs, and then you know you're hitting a little bit better. You get a little bit more wave clear. You get a little more times to go in with your CC, your tornado, and all that. And right now, it's kind of like probably again. I expect this early game to go pretty darn slow. No more crazy angles, so don't have to worry about overextending for wards and not having to really worry about just constantly getting jumped on again. But you know, you have to worry about getting ulted by ADHD. Delightful has to go, so it gets a little bit closer to Ahata and don't run it. So we're gonna have to be careful here.
You basically
Is
have one early game champion. in this
yeah, pretty
draft,
much. So
and that's Volibear.
yeah,
So
like there's no agency at all for both these teams early. It is going to be a pure farm fest for like the next 10 minutes, and then
probably,
probably gonna see something
probably.
like
It's gonna be mid, I think, if
Volibear.
anything. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be the Volibear and the Ari duo. I think that's what you can expect to see. I think that's where the agency of the
I
Rams
think
comes in.
I think it's good. The first play is going to be the side of Barbara, and they're going to do it into the bot side.
Okay, I
That's what I
like it.
feel like.
A
It's
little
either that,
prediction ahead of
or
time.
it's going to be vice versa with the Volibear doing it top side, because you
Yeah.
have two champions that can deny turret aggro. Kled with the passive, and then Volibear with the ultimate.
What? Hey, I didn't
So
get a chance to ask you. What do you think of the Ghost? The Delightful opts in for the Ghost on the Mordekaiser this game. What are your thoughts on that?
Ghost, it's understandable. Obviously, Mordekaiser is a very immobile champion, so you just kind of it kind of alleviates the need for like a Rylai's or anything like that, because obviously Mordekaiser gets kited really easily. Not very many, or yeah, a lot of these champions are going to kite that Mordekaiser. You know, once the Aphelios gets Gale Force, or probably going for. Nah, you're gonna go for Gale Force with L, your second item, and then you have the Ari with the Spirit Rush. You got the Asian Daemon with the Poly and the Ultimate. So
Mhm.
Asian Daemon was like an absolute monster. You're just playing like really aggressive with the polys and the ultimates, and just barely getting out with their life.
Well,
So
that's what we talked about the last game a little bit too. Delightful ended up to like he ended up choosing the Kane, and in the second game, the Kane actually ended up getting banned in the second phase. But when he ended up picking the Kane, he picked it into a fair amount of CC, the RE charm, but I think the most important was the polymorph, and you ended up seeing that at one point too. Damon was like 1 HP, he ended up REing himself and then polymorphing Delightful right after. And once that ended up happening, like Delightful was basically non-existent as a champ for like 3 seconds. And I think you might see the same thing. I like the Ghost on the side of Delightful, but I think it's easily punishable. I think especially early. I think if like Dissipate wants to, he might just be able to go and invade his jungle and then just trade Flash, burn it, and then if they have somebody else, the Ari around, most notably, then they could probably chain CC and just pick up a free kill on Delightful. But the Ghost itself has a lower cooldown than the Flash, obviously. So, I mean, we'll see. It's definitely a neat pick. I think if I'm not mistaken, he ended up doing the Ghost on a Shyvana too. And even now that I'm thinking a bit more about it, Delightful might have even ended up going Mordekaiser on one of his games last week in the series for Spectre Gaming. So I'm trying to think back to it, but the more I think he did. So he seems accustomed to it, and we'll pay close attention to it. Patrick Jones kind of on Shen, kind of like the snooze fest, kind of Shen duty. It is kind of how it is. So he'll be hanging out, kind of relaxing. Um, I don't know how this matchup is going to go for him. I don't know exactly who has the edge early. I know that when it comes to Kingfisher on the Kled, he won't have the range advantage. He's definitely going to have to all in the Shen, and I know that Shen can excel with champions that have to like basically face tank him. So we'll keep a close eye on that. But if anything happens topside, I think it'll be a blunder from one of the top laners more than anything. Just
oh, my brain. But
oh,
with the Kled and the Shen matchup, again, it's kind of a skill matchup, but It's
It is.
mostly
It really is.
Shen
So
favored because like the
Shen's really strong pre-6. Like people don't give enough credit to Shen. Actually, he's one of the few champions that can duel, well, pretty much any champion. Like Camille, like Shen can win against a Camille early on, no doubt. Pre-6, Shen can beat a Camille, and I've seen that a fair amount of times. So, yeah, I like you said, and it's something that we just got to keep our eye out on. I mean, it's the same mid, bot, and support for the Rams. There isn't too much that they need to worry about from there, and I don't think they even need to concern themselves with really any mistakes from the first game. The second game, setting themselves up, I think they're ready to rock. They've already played the champions once, it worked for them. Play the same thing, focus on what they need to do as individuals, and then come together as a team once you're able to, and I think things will, or I think things can definitely go really well for them. It's just that Volibear at the end of the day is a bridge, and he needs to get his carries, he needs to get his solos, or he needs to get his bot lane, whatever he chooses to focus on ahead, and then needs to play towards that over and over again. I think if he doesn't, then it's going to give a window for nukes in the side of Barber's Fanclub to really scale up. And I think once Yone gets ahead, I think it's pretty much impossible to stop him. The only thing that they can really do about it, in my opinion, would probably be Polymorph. I think Polymorph could
he's
take
back.
nukes out. He is back. Looks like he's good to go. We should be starting up
Finally!
here soon. Yeah, we should be starting up here real soon.
Oh, I finally figured out how to do my objective timers. It's press N. Oh my god, I couldn't figure out how to do it the whole time.
Well, they got rid of it in the bottom left, didn't they?
No, it's in the top right corners. Or top right and left corners. Oh my god, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, it used to be in the interface visibility, and now it's not.
Oh, finally, we're
There
back.
we go.
We are
And we're ready to run.
finally, we're in game 2 between WCU Rams and Barbara's Fanclub. It only took 15 minutes for Nuke to reset the router, and already we're going to see a couple weird shenanigans as Barbara's Fanclub are going to look for that invade into the bot side. Pixel Wolf hasn't started anything. LC Bane starting the hook, and oh great, everything's frozen.
Everything is frozen for me too.
The pain.
I think we're,
Okay, there we go.
back.
Oh, we're back. So
Okay.
they're gonna go into that mid lane and ooh, doesn't get spotted. So already Nuke's walking up forward, just doesn't care. Oh, that's the big brain play. You're pushing out.
Look at
Please
that.
don't run it, so don't get the vision. And they're gonna go straight on in. They're gonna get hooked onto the Felios there. Felios gonna get hooked up. He's gonna get pulled back, and that's gonna be first blood. Oh, Pixel Wolf doesn't land the E, but it's still gonna be first blood going over to the Mordekaiser. The burn, it burns so good.
That's exactly what they wanted, and they get the flash out of Ahata too.
Oh, and there's
No
no
flashes
summoners
being extended.
burned.
Nope, not a single summoner being burned, and that's a power of Nautilus level 1. Like absolutely insane what that champion's able to get away with. Just crazy, and he doesn't even go. Instead, we actually see LC Bane going for the aftershock. So he didn't go with the glacial either, providing that extra slow. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think he's going to be one of the few, with the exception of Patrick Jones, kind of face tanking things. But yeah, that's a great first kill there. Up 500 gold in a minute and 20, which obviously isn't too much to gloat at right now. But a
It
first
went
blood on your
over
Mordekaiser.
to...
Delightful.
Oh, wait. Oh, gosh darn it. My scoreboard is... Oh, there we go.
Oh,
got
just
it back.
press no. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Mordekaiser has it. So, got boots. So, that's just you running around faster to get some of those ganks off. So,
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even end up burning Ghost or anything. There's still so many options that they have, and I wouldn't be surprised if Delightful maybe, my guess here is he just full clears towards top side, resets, and then looks to camp towards bot, because there's so much gank setup that the side of Seraphine and Nautilus have. It's just, I think it's just an opportunity. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be scrapping.
yeah, they're just hitting each other, man. They don't even care. They're still level 1. They're still hitting each other. Shen's
Just
gonna get to
bonking
level
each
2
other.
first here.
Over and over.
Yeah, there we go. Shen gets level 2 first. Ooh, doesn't put the taunt out to get that little extra
Maybe to
damage
dismount.
there. Yeah, there we go. Gonna get the damage off. Gonna get a lot of the scratch block bot lane there. Asian Damon going to get up, trying to poke a little bit, but unfortunately gonna get chunked out really, really hard. But,
Yeah, and they actually have a pushing wave too. I mean, Damon and Hada need to be a little bit careful. They need to respect this. They don't want to overextend for anything. They don't know where Delightful is. Oh, actually, yes, they do. They just spotted him on a ward. That's a really good ward by Don't Run It, but they still don't want to overextend in the spot lane. They have to be very careful. Ahata not having his flash for the next 2.5, 3 minutes is going to be pretty detrimental to how they play this lane. Nuke's getting a little
that's
aggressive.
good. Oh, LC Bane, he's walking forward, but unfortunately, Casterman's gonna block that. Gonna dissuade the hook there. But actually, Nukes is winning out in the trades mid lane here, forcing already 2 of the 3 pots from don't run it. But otherwise, nothing too crazy. It's only about 500 gold. You know, still the same thing as before.
I think Bane's
ADHD
fishing here.
Oh, he's looking. He's looking. So yeah, already, the Rams bot lane are going to respect the Nautilus here, and mid lane Yone getting a really good chunk onto Please Don't Run It. So this time around, the Ahri is not having as much fun as before, as Pixelwolf going to get hit with a lot of damage from the Lulu. Lulu has the Airy and the, what is it, Spell Thieves, so that gives you a lot more trading power, so it can't really go up too much onto, walking up too far to look for those chunks.
Yeah. And the Rams want the wave right there. Oh, maybe.
Oh,
no.
okay, so just gets both sides of the Orbs of Deception dissipate, gonna help push in that mid lane there. Please don't run it. About half HP, so gonna kind of look for that reset.
Bane's hovering too here towards the bot side. Doesn't look like he's posturing for much. So.
Oh, missed the cannon, unfortunately.
Especially with the live audience, when you can hear everybody groan, that's the best. Then you know that everybody's watching you as you missed it.
Yeah. But otherwise, there's a lot of wards in that bot side. There's already 1, 2, 3. There's 3 wards in that bot side already. So again, lots of emphasis for the side of Barbara's.
Yeah, and they could be looking for a really quick dragon too. I mean, dragon spawns at 5 minutes. We have the Mordekaiser hovering around, so they might look to go in for it. Like you mentioned, they have a lot of vision on that bot side, so it's an option that they have, and they have a lot of agency through their bot lane itself.
Mordekaiser does it a little bit slow. You don't have a lot of sustain on the Drake, so you can kind of take advantage of that. Both junglers are kind of mirroring clears, so gonna have to be a little careful with that. But the Volibear is clearing a little bit faster, actually has level 5 before the Mordekaiser here.
He is gonna get spotted.
Yeah, so he gets spotted by the ward.
Yep. He is pinged out, so they do know.
Yeah, unfortunately the wave is pushing towards the Ram, so this is going to be a really, you have to push this wave in, because this is not a good wave that you want to sit at, because this can be frozen, and that is not what you want. Okay, there's a little scary going down, but yeah, it's real scary, because you're walking
Dissipate
around.
still has his flash too.
Yeah, if you flash, and the Gravitum is up with the
That's right.
So.
Yeah, there's a lot of
there it is, there's the flash from both the ADC and the jungler. They're gonna absolutely destroy the Seraphine, as LC Vayne gonna use the Spider Loss to get on out there. Nukes has level 6, please don't run it, is gonna have to flash over the wall here, as Nukes forces that, as, actually Nukes flashed and ulted before the Ahri used her flash, so that's going to be the Ahri getting out scot-free there. Trade of summoners in that mid lane, and bot lane, the kill going over to the Aphelios. So now the game is starting to look a little bit closer here, as the gold lead pretty much completely evens out there.
And that's what you wanted to see from the side of the Rams too, right? That Volibear, they wanted to get a couple kills early. They're finally able to do it. Get it on the Aphelios of all people too, and Ahad is really, really happy with that. The wave's gonna push towards him, and here we go.
Ooh, top side there. There's going to be a dive as Patrick Jones is going to get solo killed under the tower. Kingfisher, knowing the limits of his champion, dodging out on the tower aggro, gets a solo kill onto the Shen once again.
Delightful's on his way.
Oh, yeah, this is a pretty dead Kingfisher here. There goes the Spear's Refuge coming in. Kingfisher popping the E to try to get on out there, but unfortunately going to get taken out. But who's going to pick up the kill? Doesn't have flash anymore. Patrick Jones unfortunately going to grab that one. So ADHD Delightful once again helping his team secure a kill. Kingfisher overstaying a little bit too long in that top side there. Unfortunately, the wave was in a pretty bad... Actually, no. If it's right there and it's completely even, it's going to push back. So honestly, you probably did not need to overstay it too much there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he burns his flash with that too. So a repeat gank from Delightful is definitely something they can look for, especially with that rift coming up. It's right around the 8-minute mark now, so we'll see what Delightful does as he's starting to path towards bot side. Kind of makes some sense. Probably clears Wolves, his blue, maybe take his Gromp too, and then look for his first dragon. But yeah, a lot of agency being brought towards the side of Patrick Jones. That first Stand United definitely working wonders for them this time. They got a kill. They got exactly who they wanted to get ahead. Oh, actually, it's Shen ended up picking up the kill. Still not that bad though. Still not that bad. Delightful gets the assist. I know Delightful's one of the big carries, but I'm still a little surprised they didn't put that Stand United more down towards the bot side, but obviously they took the opportunity that was given to them right there.
Nukes is going to get ganked here. He does use the Soul Unbound. You're going to get charmed. Actually ults right into the charm. Nukes does have the Q2 there, and Patrick Jones secures another kill. There goes the Stormbringer. Dissipate going to pick up that other kill there. Patrick Jones going to continue to fight, but going to have to be careful. There goes the Shen. Does have the blade as ADHD Delightful coming through with the ultimate as the bot lane hook going onto Ahada. Exhaust going onto the Pixel Wolf. Going to get the ult onto Damon, or Damon puts the ult onto Ahada using the chakram to do as much damage as he can. But there, that hook, I don't even know how that landed. As you're gonna get double hit, gonna get double stunned. As Pixel Wolf gonna pick up that kill in the 2v2 in the bot lane. Patrick Jones does put the Spirit's Refuge down to negate a little bit of damage, but unfortunately you're losing out on those trades there.
Yeah, and the 6s are now coming online for Pixel Wolf and LC Bane. This Dragon's definitely there, so they can opt in to reset, get that bot wave in, and they are happy for the next 2-3 minutes knowing that bot wave is going to come towards them. They can catch it, and Bane might even have the option to head up towards that rift if they so want. So lots of options from the side of Barber's Fan Club. It feels like they're in the driver's seat. They got a 1k gold lead right now. Things are looking pretty good.
Topside there, Don't Run It is going to get jumped on by Nukes, but Nukes does get slapped by the charm, so gonna kind of deter that trade a little bit more there. But once you get that Vamp Scepter, you're gonna be pretty hunky-dory as top lane, as the King Fighter does still have the Q attached and gonna pick up the kill, or it's gonna be donated over to Please Don't Run. It teleport used by Patrick Jones a little bit too late there. So it's going to be another kill going over to the side of the Rams, and it's pretty much dead even in gold almost outside of that first blood money, and it's only 4 for 4, only one Drake going over to the side of Barber's Fan Club. So right now it's still pretty much the same thing going on since the first game, just completely even. Teleport forced out for the Yone into that mid lane.
Yeah, the first dragon is going down.
Dissipate.
Yeah, Dissipate might have another window. I think wisely he chooses to back off. I think he has the option now. He doesn't quite realize it, but Delightful's resetting, so there is a window for him to head on over here, start this rift, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any contest. Nukes is looking to trade, but it looks like Don't Run It is getting the better end of the majority of these trades. The only exception actually seemed to be this one right here, exactly. The ult, I didn't realize that until after, was burned, so that's really good. Nukes has a bit of a window.
Upside here, as there's a stun onto Patrick Jones. Spirit Refuge going to deny a lot of damage, but the hook going to pull him back a little bit. And, going to get chomped down. So Dissipate does have the Stormbringer. Could force that dive, but ADHD Delightful is up here in that top side to help that go awry there. Riftmaker already done by the Mordekaiser, so he's just hour farming. Nuke's going to get a lot of damage onto that mid lane tower. Going to get one plate there. Dissipate is here, but doesn't have the stun, so just kind of have to back off. Not going to secure that one.
Yeah, Delightful's actually 800 gold ahead of Dissipate right now. So the gold itself is starting to match up, and if you take a look at that scoreboard right now, you can actually see the difference is just effectively in the jungles alone. Now we do have Delightful starting this, and he doesn't exactly have priority in his waves.
Ooh, ping's coming out from both sides here. There's the Nautilus gonna get hit. He's gonna face check, but he's gonna pop the ult onto Please Don't Run It, but it ain't gonna be enough. Nuke's gonna try to take down Dissipate, gets a knock up. ADHD Delightful putting Please Don't Run It into the death realm. Does not have the ultimate, and you're gonna get taken down. Nuke's still fighting Dissipate here. It's gonna be a 1v1, and Nuke's getting that solo kill onto the jungler. He's gonna flash up with the wall and force. Does get the KP action. Asian Damon walking up a little bit too close for comfort here, but they're still gonna look for that kill. There goes the exhaust, and Nukes is still taking up the tower. Oh, it's gonna actually get taken, or the tower aggro is gonna get dropped very nicely, and that's going to be 2 more plates going over, and that's going to be the first tower gold going over to the side of Barbara's Fan Club in that mid lane.
That's right, they get the gold on exactly who they want to get it on. Delightful gets another kill, end up soloing the Ahri in that fight right there, and then getting the gold on Nukes. That's exactly what he needed, and a couple kills there too.
Oh, Ada, wait, I don't even know how you knew he was there, man. As Ada, you might get solo killed, and he does! Walking up a little bit too, I don't even know how he knew he was there. He never walked past the wall to get spotted by the vision.
Depending on the pathing he took there, he might have been spotted there on the red. I'm not entirely
Oh
sure.
yeah, that word, but
He might have walked
interesting.
around, so Nukes might have had an inclination there. If not, then maybe his sixth sense just kicked in.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting there. Hacks? I think not. I don't know, but very nice job there for Nukes. He is absolutely kind of putting this game on its head here, possibly giving it Barber's fan club a chance to continue their gauntlet run,
Hmm.
as it's going to be about a 4K gold lead going over already to the side of Barber's fan club here.
Yeah,
Lots of
this is a
extra
noticeable
gold
difference
and
too.
lots of big push.
Especially when you draft the Volley Bear, right? The Volley Bear is drafted to be this early game powerhouse. And while the Volley Bear's got 3 kills, or 2 kills and assists, so 3 KP, it just doesn't seem to be enough. He's down 4K right now, his team. So the Volley Bear pick might not be working out the best. He's definitely going to get outscaled by Delightful here. And if they get the second dragon, things could be looking exactly like game 1 there.
Yeah, like I haven't seen Dissipate. Hasn't really been looking for much with those with any of those ultimates. Gonna get spotted out on the ward. So, oh, actually going for the Sunfire instead of the, what is it? The Turbo Chem pick. Patrick Jones gonna get chunked out here by Kingfisher. So you're gonna have to be careful because the hook comes through. In mid lane, there goes a pull onto the Volley Bear, forced to use the Stormbringer to get out, but the Ahri gets caught in the ultimate from the top lane, that's a 1v1 solo kill on the top side, gonna get traded over, but the most important pick was onto the Ahri there with the Fate Sealed, gonna secure that kill. As the second Drake going over, we're gonna see what kind of a soul we're gonna have here, and it's going to be an Infernal Soul this time around.
That's a great soul. Nukes is very happy to see that. Delightful loves it. Pixel Wolf is happy, and even Bane too. The damage that Nautilus can bring here in this mid game. If things are able to keep going,
Nukes is doing a really nice job with that soul unbind there. As bot lane, they're gonna prepare for this dive. As LC Bane walking forward, but there goes 2 teleports coming in. LC Bane gonna get absolutely, he's gonna get CC, where he's gonna live for a while. There goes the ultimate from the Shen. He's gonna live a little bit longer, but the Shen's not gonna come through. Please don't run is here. 2 teleports are completed, but it's gonna be a trade of Nautilus and an ADC. Kingfisher gonna get popped out from Skarner, or the as the little mouth thing is ADHD Delightful gonna help secure that kill as the big knockup coming through, lots of extra damage. CC coming down, Pixel Wolf gonna get taken down as the tower, gonna secure that one as ADHD Delightful gonna have to try to run on out, but Volley Bear gonna flash on over, just use the Sky Splitter to bring the Mordekaiser down. That's gonna be a big shutdown going over to the Volley Bear, and 2 big kills and lots of cooldowns wasted in that bot side, not getting too much in return.
And you can see Barber's fan club looked for it, had the right idea, but the response from the Rams was just so much more. I don't think they expected the double TP to come in through, and then the Stand United being a little bit late from Patrick Jones, not actually landing there, so he's not able to join the fight himself, just providing the shield. Nautilus goes down beforehand, and things kind of start to get a little scary from there on out. So, yeah, just a really good response by the Rams. I like what they've done here, and they have another little bit of a window here too.
Patrick Jones is, yeah, you're pretty dead here. Doesn't have flash, using the taunt, does dodge out on the CC a little bit, but gonna get caught by the Everfrost there. So another a kill going over to the Ahri. So now Ahri is back in the game here. Is still 2k down on the Yone, but a little bit more money in your pocket is nothing to complain about there. Yone is about to hit a full 2 item power spike here, getting the IE second. I think, so a little close, but only has 500 gold in the pocket right now. It is, yeah, it's still 4K. It's still pretty much the same thing it was like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, even after a couple of those 2 kills ended up being traded, the tower dive not going to plan bot side, and yeah, 4K still happening, so not the end of the world. The Ahri are being burned out here, still has a flash.
Oh, gonna get hit with the hook. Nobody's here to stall. LC Bane doesn't quite have the Shen coming through yet, but there goes that's the ultimate. There comes the charge. Patrick Jones gonna get hit with that as LC Bane gonna get taken down to Sunfire. Gonna roast him alive here as LC Bane, not quite knowing what his team is doing, dies for no reason at all.
Right now, when it gets to about the 17-18 minute mark, what you want to be doing as much as you can as a support is enabling your jungler. You want to be playing around the life line. A little bit of an overstep, maybe a little too hyphy from the side of LC Bane. He does end up going down. Now, what he trades in response might only be his deaths, so no objectives going down. The Lightful does have the inside track towards this rift, so they can look to start that up. And with the objective bounties being available, I think they definitely want to deny this.
So
Yeah.
let's see. Right now, a lot of Rams gold is on the Volley Bear. He's only about 800 gold down. He's about to hit the 7K. He just hit the 7K gold mark. So he is the richest person on Rams. Not quite who you want your money on. The
Yeah.
affiliation is mad behind. He is 1K down from the Seraphine. Patrick Jones might get collapsed upon here. Gonna get spotted by the
Yeah.
ward. So
And the Seraphine
right
did
now,
actually elect to go the Leandros too. So we talked about that
yeah.
a little bit, and she does go. She does choose to go for the damage. Interesting. I don't think it's a bad decision by any means, and I think she could do that too. I think probably with the kills that they ended up getting, they decided to build more damage. I think if she just would have been farming, played more weak side, and she didn't get kills, I think it would have been the Moonstone Renewer approach. But yeah, they're not going to complain from her Leandries. And now if you're the side of the Rams, you're really on the back foot here. You really got to be focusing on the windows that you have to make plays. And it looks like the decision from the Rams is playing more towards the Shen. So I think it's a good call. I think it kind of forces them to make decisions, and I think that's why the Shen's been so impactful. But if they play towards a Shen, Damon a little. Ooh,
Okay,
big
there's the
trouble.
polymorph. Nukes is gonna get a lot. Wow,
Oh,
almost
my goodness.
one shot. Already has the IE, so you're gonna almost one shot a lot of the squishy. So Asian Damon forced to use that ultimate charge going into the top side. You're gonna dive this Shen here. It's gonna be 3-man onto him. As the charge comes through, you're gonna use a flash from the sled and don't run it. Uses the Spirit Rush to hunt him down. That's an objective bounty going over. Bot side priority gonna get taken by the side of Barbara's fan club here to get onto this Drake. There's the Herald pop now as Pixel Wolf gonna usher that bot wave in. This is going to be a bot tier 2, most likely going over to the side of Barbara's fan club, but they're gonna trade it for a bot top tier 2 and a top tier 1 right now. So this should be Soul Point going over to the side of Barbara's fan club completely uncontested.
Yeah, both teams trading across the maps, but ultimately Barbara's fan club is going to win out. They're going to get the tier 2 on bot to match the tier 2 top side that the Rams ended up getting. And more
They're not
importantly,
gonna
like
get
you
that.
mentioned, they might get, no, the second match won't happen. But they do get the soul point. And that's something that we both were talking about. Now again, Barbara's fan club has a lot of agency. They can make the choice. They might not even choose to contest for that fourth Drake for the soul. Maybe they just look for the Baron again, and we'll have to pay close attention to that. But there's no doubt the Rams are feeling a lot of the pressure. Things have really changed from the first game to the second.
So ADHD Light went for the Rylai, so you're gonna have a lot of utility on that Mordekaiser. Ooh, almost lands a charm there. So Surprise didn't go for the Demonic Embrace. You have two big meat bags. As Nukes is just going straight on in there with the Soul Unbind. As Dissipate gonna dodge out on the pull there. Like dodging out on everything with the Happy Feet. Hada is on the other side there, forced to use the flash. Charm going down onto ADHD Delightful. Put the Hada into the death realm there as you're pretty much dead, buddy. As dodging out on all the skill shots. You're gonna heal up a little bit more. Use it to Gale for it. He still lives! And there goes a big ultimate into her backside. Jordan gets 3 kills there. As Pixel Wolf gets another 3 into the encore. As that's a quadra kill going over to Nukes. As the Ahri is forced to run away. No mana left. And that's going to be a broken base at 21 minutes.
I mean, they can go for the end. They have a lot of choices here. It looks like they are. They're posturing more towards ending here. They're definitely going to grab this inhibitor. If they choose not to, they can always head towards topside. They do have a pushing wave.
Oh, Nukes is going in. Doesn't have anything up with the knockup, but he's gets one shot. That's the unofficial penta going over to Nukes. Don't run and pops him with the okay. As yeah, you can't walk up to a Yone that is 8-2 and 4 with an IE built already.
And he
20
only
minutes.
scales more from here. That's the thing.
Yeah, right now
only
he
gets
has
stronger.
3,400 gold in his pocket. That's a full item already. So let's see what he builds here. Death Stance. Now that Yone is way harder to kill, and he hits just as hard.
I don't know. Yeah, at this point, I don't know if you do kill. They're always going to have the push in mid now, taking that inhibitor. So I think really from the side of Barbara's fan club, it's just about crossing your T's and dotting your I's. And that's just getting your waves pushed out, getting vision set up around that Baron, denying the vision from the Rams, and then forcing them to face check. And at that point, I think it's over. I think they clean up, and then I think that they can end the game and take the series to a game 3. Now,
Yeah, the only way you kill Yone is like just in general, is you have to chain CC the Yone and try to burst him out, but with the rest of his team behind him there, has the Death Dance, has the Immortal Shield Bow.
Yep.
It's gonna be really, really hard to complete that daunting task, as the Baron is gonna get started straight up here by Barbar's Fanclub.
Yeah, they have
Shen's in
really
that
good
bot
vision on
side.
this too. They have really good vision. They see exactly where Dissipate and the Rams are, so they know what's going on. And if Dissipate wants to take his blue and trade for
Yeah,
the Baron,
they're just giving the Baron. There's not much you can do about that. Ari in that bot side doesn't know Shen's in the bush. So don't run. Wow, that's a lot of
Oh
damage.
my
That's the
goodness.
Titanic Hydra. Shen might look for the solo kill, so please don't run it, but using the Spirit Rush to get on out of the dodge. As Dissipate, you're going to try to clear that mid lane wave before the Baron buff comes through. You're going to have to be careful. You are going to get immediately ulted, so...
and now the timer's just ticking. I mean, Barber's Fanclub, they can choose to push the spot wave in, match up with the Shen. They can choose to head towards topside and match up with nukes, or they can play around their soul, which is coming up here in a minute and 20 seconds. So, I mean, if you're the side of the Rams, you really got to focus and think about what you can do here in this situation. And if you elect to go for a pick on the Yone, I mean, you got to get him quick. Because if you don't, he's going to buy so much time, the rest of your base is going to be destroyed. Things are looking dire for the Rams now.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. You don't have any tank shred really outside of the LDR from the Aphelios. And then you have this Yone just absolutely dumpstering the rest of your team, because Don't Run It is running a utility build and not a burst build. So Kingfisher gets chunked to two-thirds of his HP, absolutely gone there by 2 Qs from Pixel Wolf. So there's so much going down. This is just a ticking time bomb of death here. Nukes, oh, my one-shot Dissipate. Dissipate gonna use the Q to run on out there. Soul and Mind Nukes bringing him back, as this is going to be that's just probably going to be it here, as a second inhibitor going over uncontested to the side of Barbara's Fanclub here.
If that third inhibitor goes down, it spells disaster. It spells the game.
That third inhibitor is about to go down there. You can't match it. There's nothing you can do, as the Nexus towers are starting to get jumped on, as Dissipate gonna try to stun up the nukes. As there he goes with the Fate Unsealed. He's going to take down nukes. Encore not quite going to land. Nuke's gonna go right onto the Aphelios, and he was there. Now he's gone. There goes Yone. He's still on the tower. He's still taking it up. He's gonna get a triple kill there, as he's still taking it up. But no, he's gonna get on out. He's gonna heal it up, and that is going to be it. It's gonna be a 4 for none. And there goes Barbara's Fanclub, bringing us to a game 3.
Yeah, we got a game 3 on our hands after all.
The flash. Oh, you thought the game was ending.
Nobody can say LC Bane's a KDA player, that's for sure. More than willing to go in there and take the death for the team. Yeah, well, there you go. They made the adjustments, and Barber's Fanclub, from the game 1 that they had, didn't feel like a lot of AG was available with some of the drafts or some of the champions that they ended up picking. Making the adjustments here, banning out the Zac, which seemed to really give them a problem in the first game, and Dissipate's response, the Volibear, just didn't seem to really gain any traction. I mean, at the end of the day, we talked about it. The Volibear was a bridge. He needed to get his carries ahead, and while he got 1 kill on Ahata and the Aphelios, that's all that he ended up getting. After that, Aphelios proceeded to die 6 times in a row. Now, it's not that he died 6 times in a row within 5 minutes, it's just nothing else ended up happening for him. And when that's the case, if you're trying to scale into late game and you're Aphelios, you're 1-6, you only have 2 items at 25 minutes, things are looking really grim. And that's kind of what ended up happening. Nukes took over the game. Once he got his 2 items, things were looking really grim, and once he had his 3rd, it seemed like he was unkillable. That Death Stance really, really came in clutch there.
And Nukes, like, the big thing that let the Rams win the first game was the fact that Don't Run It was just able to roam around the map and just constantly go around with the jungler and just look for these big kills. But now Nukes is here in that mid lane, no more lag, was able to keep Don't Run It in the mid lane and just absolutely dumpster him and almost never got punished whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Again, the adjustments too. One thing that we didn't mention too much, but Nukes was playing AD carry in game 1. They ended up switching Pixel Wolf, Nukes, they ended up switching roles, send Nukes mid, and he ends up popping off. I expect to see that. It's probably going to stay the same in game 3. I don't think they're going to change anything like that, but they seem to find what worked really, really well for them. So game 2, really exciting there, coming in for Barber's Fanclub. Shows that they can handle some adversity, and when things get tough, they don't end up running away with the tail between their legs. Things are looking good. I think we've got a really good series here, and we'll see what Rams decide to do here, because they now have side selection. So I wouldn't be surprised if they choose to go for red this time.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to see what they pick here. Because this is round 2 of the Gauntlet, man. Like, now we are on match point for both these teams.
Yeah, and
This
this
is
is do or
make or
die.
break.
That's
It
right.
is. It is win or go home. That's it.
And all the scrims that you played, right? All the time that you put into league with the team that you have right here, I mean, it can all go up in flames in just a matter of one game. It's just all about execution, how well you can handle the stress, the pressure that comes along with these scenarios, and we'll see what teams are able to kind of to battle through it here. I mean, the Rams had a great first game. Barbara's fan club had a great second game. So, I mean, by process of elimination, you could probably assume game 3 is going to be pretty great too. So.
Yeah, so like I'm curious to see what the Rams are going to ban because now the Yone and the Mordekaiser are big bans
I don't.
for
I
that
don't know if
first
they.
phase.
I don't know if they banned the
Mordekaiser,
Mordekaiser. I
yeah,
think they leave the
probably not as
Mordekaiser.
much, but the Yone is a big one.
Yes, the
So
Yone
it's a
100%.
because like that's the struggle in a big series is like you already have all these bans set out, but then there's like this one big champion, one or two big champions that come through, and you have to decide you either keep it or you ban it.
Mhm.
And yeah, like Nukes was just super ballsy there, just blind picking the Yone, and WCU Rams. Or no, wait, it was a R3, so there was no way they could know. So they picked the Yone completely blind, and there's just not like even with the counter pick, there's still not much you can do.
No, and you take a look at the Rams too, right? From the mid to the bot lane, they ended up drafting the same champions that they did from game 1 with a completely different result. So now for game 3, what do they choose to do? Do they stick with stock standard Aphelios? Do they grab the Lulu? Because in game 2, they prioritized it on blue side. So I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. Maybe